Empires were not built by armies alone. They were not sustained by kings, crowns, or conquest. Behind every great empire stood a system that decided who could raise armies, who could wage wars, and who would ultimately rule the world. Long before modern banks existed, financial power was already shaping history. Before Rome ruled continents, before European empires dominated trade routes. Banks and financial systems were quietly deciding the fate of nations. This is the story of how banks created empires. The rules that built ancient empires never disappeared. They evolved. If you understand how banks created empires in the past, you will understand how power still works today, because history does not repeat itself. But financial systems do. Empires begin with control, not control of land, but control of money. The Roman Empire understood this early. Rome did not simply conquer territories, it imposed its currency. Roman coins traveled faster than Roman soldiers. Where Roman money circulated, where Roman law followed, loyalty was enforced. Currency unified the empire. It standardized trade, taxation, and military pay. This was not accidental. Whoever controlled money controlled the system. Empires do not rise when armies expand. They rise when money becomes centralized. Gold is limited, credit is not. Empires that relied only on stored wealth grew slowly. Empires that understood credit expanded rapidly. In medieval Europe, banking families understood this better than kings. They did not need armies. They financed them. Italian banking centers like Florence and Venice perfected credit systems. Kings borrowed money to fight wars, expand borders, and build states. Empires were not built on savings. They were built on borrowed power. Credit accelerated growth, and acceleration always favors empires. Wars are expensive. Armies march on money, not courage. Throughout history, banks funded conflicts from behind the scenes. Kings fought, soldiers died. But banks ensured payment, interest, and influence. The side with funding could continue fighting. The side without funding collapsed. Banks did not need to choose sides. They financed outcomes. The true winners of many wars were not found on battlefields, but in financial ledgers. Those who fund wars often shape peace. Empires follow trade. Banks follow trade faster. Roman roads connected cities, markets, and armies. Later, maritime routes connected Europe to Africa and Asia. Where trade flowed, money moved. Where money moved, banks emerged. Trade required trust. Banks provided that trust through credit, guarantees, and exchange systems. Empires that controlled trade routes did not just control goods, they controlled finance, and finance transformed trade into dominance. Banking is built on trust, so are empires. When trust disappears, systems fail. Rome began to weaken when its currency lost credibility. Coins were debased, inflation rose, confidence collapsed. Empires rarely fall in a single moment. They decay financially before they collapse politically. When people stop trusting money, they stop trusting the empire behind it. History shows this pattern repeatedly. Trust is the invisible foundation of power. Rome followed this pattern. Medieval Europe followed this pattern. Modern empires still follow it. Different centuries, different technologies, same financial rules. Empires rise through systems. They fall when those systems fail. Kings vanished, crowns fell, empires collapsed. But the rules of money never changed. Those who understood financial systems ruled the world. Those who ignored them became history. The empires changed. The systems evolved. But power always followed money.